Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Steel City Motors in another vehicle highlight. Today we are jumping into something a little bit more interesting that I do not see every day and that does not come across a lot often, but is a really great example of this type of SUV from Lexus. Today we are looking at the 2011 Lexus RX 450 Hybrid. So with my own signature little walkthrough that I do on every vehicle so you can see all of the lines and all of the details, today we are filming under the awning. It is quite hot outside today, and there is also quite a bit of sun glare that prevents me from getting a good shot on the outside. So today we are doing this under an awning. Definitely a lot better lighting here, and you can see the fluid, elegant lines that Lexus has put on this SUV. I really do like this generation of RX, which is the counterpart to the Toyota Highlander, and this iteration is the hybrid. This is a 2011 with 151,000 miles, and it has definitely been well kept cosmetically. It is really pretty. There's no major or really visible things going on with the clear coat. There is not any major cosmetic scratches, nothing that I can see. Very clear headlights, and everything just looks a lot newer than a 2011 model year typically would. As you can see, we've got the cargo roof rails, quite a large set of wheels, and just a very elegantly designed vehicle on the outside. That definitely does translate into the interior, and we're going to get to that shortly. But the 450 Hybrid is definitely not just a pretty vehicle for the model year, and not only is this vehicle specifically kept well cosmetically, but it is also loaded with quite a few different features that are ahead of its time, from a heads-up display to the infotainment system. So let's get into that now. All right, y'all, hopping into this vehicle, you can definitely see that I was mentioning that elegant design translating onto the interior, and that is definitely the case. You've got a very good blend of darker and lighter highlights adorning that white, off-white leather interior. You've got pretty well contoured seats. Everything is very cosmetically pretty on the inside as well. We've got really well kept matte leather with no major cracks or flaws to it back here, and up here with minimal wear. For that 2011 model year, I think that's fairly excellent. Then we've got that typical Lexus styling where we've got the wood trim around the steering wheel and around the shifter. Everything looks very elegant and upscale, but the functionalities are definitely impressive, especially for the 2011 model year. Now, this is going to have some things that even further model years really don't have on its counterparts, and I'm very excited to get into that. Alright, so jumping in right to those functionalities, we do have a push to start. So you can see it says Lexus Hybrid Drive, and we've got the multiple different settings for our seats. Down here, we've got the parking brake, the pedals, the hood pop and the trunk pop, the gas door, trip computer, and brightness for the display. Here we have a small cup holder, which is nice to have as an extra to the front cup holders that already exist, and just a generally nice setup overall. Something that you're going to notice on this Lexus that you're not going to see on a lot of things in this model year is that heads-up display. It's a little bit harder to see on camera, but you can see that speedometer up there on that heads-up display. This is one of the first iterations of a heads-up display on a mainstream vehicle, and it's done quite well. It's actually quite crisp out here in person, and it's really interesting to see that kind of stuff, especially on this model year. Now, everything, as I said, is beautifully kept. This feels so much newer than a 2011. It's a very nice digital analog hybrid cluster. We've got different indicators for stuff that's hybrid related versus the typical cluster elements. And then we've got a very nicely designed, minimalistic but still loaded steering wheel and steering wheel area. So up here you've got your lights and your blinkers, you've got your wipers, you've got your cruise control, you've got the infotainment and phone controls up here as well. Now for the infotainment system, I think is also another impressive thing that you're going to see for this specific vehicle is that we've got navigation, we've got Bluetooth, we've got a little bit of everything, and it's actually done via this trackpad style kind of scrolling system right here. It's almost like a trackpad slash mouse. It's actually very fluid and very easy to operate. And we've got the enter, the display, and all of those buttons off to the side. It's almost like a mouse. It's almost like the same thing you would get at a computer. It's also a pointer such as a mouse. And then we've got the map with voice control if you need to tell it where to go, and the menu button and scrollers right here as well. So going into the menu, you can see phone setup, you can see the regular setup, the climate, the audio, and the destination for the Navi. So clicking in. So you've got a pretty comprehensive amount of stuff that's in a fairly simplified menu, which is really nice and intuitive. The setup includes a few different things. It's got the general clock, voice, navigation, phone, audio, vehicle, and other. So you can click into really any menu from like XM, for example, the clock to see what time and date it's on. The general setup, excuse that line right there, it does not capture LCDs very well. All the different units of measurement, things like that. Scrolling all the different details, which is really nice. And you can press menu to go right back to everything else, to like the start, and also set up all of the different things, view your fuel consumption, calendar, and map data. So there's actually quite a bit of information on this vehicle for its model year, and you can click back into the map button to view where you are. So this vehicle definitely has quite a bit of things going on for its age, for its generation, and it's really, really nice because it's quite simple compared to some of the iPad screens we've got going on, but it does not lack in technology whatsoever. Up here we also do have a front panel sunroof and the controls thereof, but let's take a look at the trunk space and back seat before we wrap this up. So the trunk can be toggled with this button right here. It is a automatic trunk, so you can also have things like that, an automatic tailgate. And we've also got the button on the key fob as well. You gotta hold that for everything to come up, or alternatively you can just come up and press the button itself. That's on the underside. So there are 3 ways to open this tailgate. You get a very, very generous amount of room, very nice, clean, carpeted liner. You've got your first aid kit, a mount for your sunshade, the handles to fold down your seats, which looks just like this. Very, very ample amount of room, almost like a short truck bed or like a Suburban style amount of cargo space that you'd see, like I said, in a Chevy Suburban, things like that. And down here you've got the utility compartment, which houses the spare underneath here and other items down here as well. So everything is very clean, very easy to operate, and very accessible. Coming back to view the back seat, we've got the 60/40 folding bench, a little bit of storage off to the side, and it's really nice and intuitive to just lift things up. Now that everything has been put back up, we can check out the amount of legroom and headroom we get, even with the seats all the way back. Fairly nice. We got some vents here. We've got another bit of vents down here as well. Very clean carpet, and the signature Lexus armrest with storage and cup holders, both being able to be hidden or displayed whether or not you need them. and the seats being very well contoured back here as well. Whether you're a passenger or you're the driver, you definitely have a nice comfortable time in this car. Alright everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Vehicle Highlights. Thank you so much for following along, and we'll see you on the next one.